But you know Matlala?
Very well. By the way, I do meet criminals. I do. And the information can be broader used than not having met him. After that, he says he has been approached by Sibiya, General Sibiya, to write an affidavit against Khumalo so that Khumalo can be arrested. Is Matlala working or through Sibiya that is taking Khumalo to court? Going to court is not genuine. Going to court is to make sure that Khumalo is found wanting, that he will lose the case that he was unlawful. If then Khumalo loses the case, somebody who happens to be Sibiya will then put discipline to him and be able to take him out of, or punish him or take him out of the organization. But Matlala says, now I realize that I'm being used. So please tell Khumalo that it's not me, it's Sibiya. So the case that is taken by Matlala, he wants to drop it so that Khumalo is not taken to this grinding machine by Sibiya through Matlala.
But you know Matlala?
Very well.
Okay.
I think.
When did you first meet Matlala?
I met Matlala in December
of
last year.
2024.
2024. That's the
before
first
the directive.
That's the first time I met Matlala. December 2024. I can't remember the date, but it was after the raid.
The raid on the 8th or the 6th, the 6th of December.
Because that's one thing that brought him to me.
So what is there a connection between the raid on 6th December where we know
there are issues that he raised to me about the raid.
So can you tell us? Well, first tell us how it is that you came to meet him. Did you know him before that?
No, I didn't know him before that, and I don't know how it happened because the people of his stature, I would know about them, especially from what, the township? From MAMS, from Mamelodi. I have had a lot of community engagement in Mamelodi, and they will raise the issues about the people that give them trouble. One person that was very prominent was Keke. There's a guy called Keke in Mamelodi. I think he's doing 20 years now, it's been said. So we went there, we had Imbizo. 27 people spoke at Imbizo. Not a single one spoke of Keke. The 27th person spoke about Keke and was given a standing ovation. And this person made a statement that I'm ready to die after speaking with Keke. So you would know that there are people like Keke and things. But nobody ever raised an issue about Matlala. Nobody. Then Bongani Mpungos, who is a son of Sputla Mpungos, who is a son of Sputla Mpungos, who comes from Nongoma or Matubatuba, where he comes from, and a very notorious taxi person. Because of my involvement as the MEC for Transport and Police, when there are problems of taxi industry, then I will meet these people. So I knew Sputla through that, the father of Bongani. So Bongani then brings Matlala to me. So I think a week or 2 weeks I've read earlier to say there is this Tembisa person who has received this 360, is it 360 or 260 amount of contract from the South African police. They came and I met them in Beverly Hill in Durban. So I met there. I think I delayed two days because Bongani, who's known as Mabonga, did not tell me that he's bringing somebody else. So as I came there, because there was a photo of Cat, I said to him, "You look like Cat." He said, "I'm one." I said, "Nkosiam, what's the story with you and me and all that?" So he said, "No, he has asked Mabonga to come to me because there are 2 issues he wants to raise with me."
Where were you meeting?
Beverly Hills Hotel in Durban.
The Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yes, sir. Do you know Beverly Hills?
It's a fancy hotel.
Yeah, it's a very high, it's a high-end hotel. No doubt about it. It's a high-end hotel, Beverly Hills. But we met at the dining hall there, and then he raised 2 issues. He said Mabonga must bring him to me because he realizes that he's being abused or he's being used for the political games that he do not understand. Firstly, he said he has met Minister Mkhunu, him and Brand Makhosi, 3 of them. And they spoke about him because he's got money through the tender, him to fund his project of becoming either a president or deputy president. He didn't know. Myself, I didn't know which project was it. So that's that. But
so just to be clear, so he's telling you that he met with Makhosi and with Minister Mkhunu,
yes.
And it was about the funding
of the project of becoming a president or a deputy president. Okay, this is Kat telling me why he wanted to meet me. But what puzzled him there, for him to want to meet me, he was told by the minister that we'll work together so long we don't come close to Cele and Zuma. I don't know why it mixes me with Zuma. But it looks like that's what he said, that don't come close to Cele and Zuma, so we'll work well with. So that's why he says he realized that there is a game, some political games, hence wanted to see me.
Did he give any details of when they met? He met with Makhosi and with Minister Mkhunu?
No, and I did not want details myself. But he didn't. The second one was about then the raid. The raid that happened, I didn't know about the raid. As I'm saying that maybe this latter part of some members of PKTT joining Gauteng, I didn't know until Kat says to me, he wants to speak to me because he was raided. He says the people that raided him woke him up as he was sleeping and bambulingo bobati vuka. Then I realized that was a special task force. Immediately, when they come to your bathroom and they wake you up, that could be only nobody but a special task force. Those capabilities. So I realized that was this. So I asked, what has happened? No, they've raided him on matters, I think on matters of accusation of drugs and all that kind of thing. So Me, where do I come? No, he says, he comes to me because he realizes that he has been abused. After that, he says he has been approached by Sibiya, General Sibiya, to write an affidavit against Khumalo, so that Khumalo can be arrested. So this cat tells me.
Which Khumalo? You know quite a few Khumalos.
No, this one, the
Not
head,
Dr. Khumalo.
The head of the CI. Yeah. The head of the CI, the leader of the PKTT. Yeah. He says, so why? He said, no, I've come to you because of that. But what made me really come to you is that there is a case that is coming next week where I've taken Khumalo and his team to court for unlawful raid. So the reason is that I must take Khumalo to court so that he can lose the case and the Sibiya finds the way to discipline him. That is Cat telling me the story. He goes on to say he was told or stroke the affidavit of taking Khumalo was written by Sibiya to say they've stolen his Rolex and the jewelry for the wife. So they must write it so that it's not just the raid, but it's also the theft. So that's why he comes to me. He says he doesn't want to take police to court because he has just got the tender. So it doesn't want to harm his relationship with police. So Mamonga told him that I know Khumalo, so I can talk to Khumalo that they resolve the matter out of court. And indeed, I did speak to Khumalo about this thing. And I guess the lawyers did talk and the matter didn't go to court. But also what was I suggested to him that maybe it would be good if he meets Khumalo and brings Khumalo per se. I don't know if they did meet with Khumalo. But in the case, I know that did not go to court. So that's how I know Cat, and I wish I could not have met him, but now I have met him.
Were you aware, or did you know, or were you involved in the award of this 360 million rand Tshwane contract? Because that tender was awarded during your term as Minister of Police.
Well, I think there are billions of tens that are issued from the police.
But not this big.
I don't know, but I wouldn't say it can't happen. We might come back to that. I wouldn't say it can't be that big. I think there could be big, but I don't know. But looking at the operations and things that are done, it could be some money with the tenders. For instance, I would guess that the tender of buying cars is big. I don't know how much it would be, but when police buy cars, they buy cars in a big way. I would guess so. I think the other tender that would have been big is a tender of laboratories. Once upon a time, we had a serious problem about laboratories, the DNA in South Africa. It was a mess. And you discovered that 16 contracts were not renewed. And I don't know how much it would take to renew those, things. The IT is quite big, the IT with the South African police. The guns, the bullets. Remember, the bullets are not only chasing criminals. There's a lot of bullets that are used for training. So I guess that will be. But that does not reduce this, that is big. But I would not absolutely say this is the biggest. I guess they are big, but this one also, especially for the individual, is quite big.
So when you met him, you didn't know, or you weren't aware that he had secured this 360 million rand tender?
Indeed, after I've read 2 weeks before I met him, I knew he had this tender.
So you did some research on him before you met him?
No, it was an article in the paper that he is the guy that is got links with Tembisa issues has again won this big tender with another government department, which happens to be the police. So it was an article somewhere. I can't remember.
I think that was the article that appeared in News 24 about Matlala.
Well, I can't remember the publication, but it was on the media.
But didn't that arouse or raise your suspicions about him? Because that's what the article suggests, is that this is a person, this is a guy, who's connected. Forgive me, I don't know exactly what the article said, but if I recall, it suggests that he is not clean, that he's shady. And here you, as a former Minister of Police, you go and meet such a person. And we know that he's come to meet you to ask you for assistance.
As I've said, that when I met him for the first time, I asked if he's Matlala, and I was not told by Mabonga that who am I meeting. So, again, I have read that stories, but the stories and the man that is being suspected would have to be confirmed by talking and engaging after we have engaged, rather than to say, I read the story from you and then I run away. Especially in the environment that we work. Sometimes these stories you want to follow because you want to see what else can you do to reach the other elements of what you have heard, what you have seen.
Now, you say that is when he explained that he had been approached to fund a project by someone who aims to be the ANC president or deputy president, and the Minister Mkhwanazi's name was mentioned.
Correct.
And that Brown Mkhwanazi had met with him and Mr. Minister Mkhwanazi. Why would they have mentioned that to you? You are now, even as we speak, I don't think, are you still active in the political arena? Why would they mention this specifically to you?
Who? Brown?
Matlala. Yes.
Because he says my name was mentioned. Okay. To say, we'll work well with you so long you don't work with Zuma and Cele. In that particular meeting. So that's one reason. Once you see me, he realizes that it's being abused. But the second one is an affidavit that was to be prepared to arrest Sibiya.
Yes.
Not Sibiya. Khumalo. General Dumisani Khumalo. Too many because there are other Khumalos that were still coming. This is Dumisani Khumalo.
Just one moment, Honorable Malema.
No, Minister, I just want you to confirm that you are still active, because the question almost suggested that you are no longer politically active.
No, politically I'm active. I'm still the member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, and still have some activities in the province where I come from.
Okay. So
okay.
that part of the information that Matlala was funding.
Just before we proceed, let me recognize the presence of the following two members of Parliament Honorable Kobe from Action SA and Honorable Slepe from the MKP. Thank you so much, honorable members, for giving yourself time to join our proceedings. You may proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. So that would be of interest to you. This is a bit of political information that that Matlala is funding the ambitions of someone in the party. So that would be of interest to you.
Well, surely they would, because as an active member, I would have my preferences. But this information was not invited by me. But I would not say I don't want to hear it.
Okay. So now you're actually meeting him for the first time, and you're getting this information from Matlala. Now, surely your impressions, your perception of him must be changing. What are you thinking now after hearing this?
No, there are no perceptions that are changing. I've met a person that I do not know, has given me this information, and there is an action that I need to take. The action that I need to take is that the court, Khumalo should not go to court, because Khumalo going to court is not genuine. Is to put him there, he loses the case and is disciplined, and I guess the aim is to take him out of police, especially having come from the person that I knew. They were not very close, him and Sibiya. So I had to action that.
Now, Minister,
SC,
you...
there is Honorable James behind.
Thank you, Chair. It is just a clarity-seeking question, because I recall posing a question yesterday to Minister Senzo, asking him if he had met with Brown and with Cat to discuss a certain project about a campaign for president or deputy president. I told him that that's part of your testimony, and he said it's a blatant no. So just clarity, because I heard you touching on it. Did you now say that Cat told you that there was indeed a meeting where Minister Senzo was present with Brown and himself?
They spoke about the project.
And spoke about the project for the ANC president, indeed.
Yes, it did.
And the minister denied it yesterday.
Well, he really did tell me that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
May we proceed? Honorable James, are you okay? May we proceed? Thank you. SC?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. General, you have so much of experience in the police portfolio. You're sitting opposite a very well-heeled person in a high-end hotel who's asking you to collude with him effectively to defeat the ends of justice. He's asking you for a favor to make sure that one of your best, maybe our best, police officers, Khumalo, must not conclude an investigation into him. Why didn't you get up and say, but I didn't come here for this. This is objectionable. This is outrageous. How did you respond to that?
Did I hear well when I said I spoke to Matlala to stop Khumalo investigating?
Yes.
No.
But I'm sorry, General, just so that you understand what I'm asking or putting to you clearly.
Okay.
what he's asking you is to break the law when he says you must do something for him. And he's telling you, you know, what Sibiya wants to do. This involves very much the PKTT on the one hand and the Gauteng syndicate on the other hand, involving Molefe, Matlala, and he's sitting right in front of you.
SC, I don't know Matlala as we meet at Beverly.
Yeah.
By the way, Beverly is high end, but I eat breakfast every Sunday there. So to me, it's quite next door to me. Secondly, he doesn't talk to me about stopping him being raided or arrested. He talks to me being approached to do things so that Khumalo can be arrested.
Yes.
That's hence the affidavit to say Khumalo did not just raid, it was illegal, but not only that, the theft. Is Matlala working or through Sibiya that is taking Khumalo to court? But Matlala does not want to face Khumalo in court because he doesn't want to jeopardize the relationship with the police since he has this tender from the police. It would be good, then Matlala realizes that he's being abused or used to achieve other ends rather than what was there as a raid on that particular day. So Matlala raises the issue that he would love that the matter that is going to court could be settled out of court, because going to court is not genuine. Going to court is to make sure that Khumalo is found wanting, that he will lose the case that he was unlawful. If then Khumalo loses the case, somebody who happens to be Sibiya will then put discipline to him and be able to take him out of, or punish him or take him out of the organization.
Yes, General, it sounds to me, and I may not be alone in this room thinking like what I'm going to tell you, that he wants to draw you into a conspiracy to neutralize Khumalo. That's what it's about ultimately. Now, perhaps at the time, it didn't occur to you, or you weren't conscious of it.
No.
Because no, to be fair, because you then suggest, well, you must have a meeting with Khumalo, isn't it? Let me just read from your affidavit so that I don't put words in your mouth. You said, I advised Mr. Matlala that he needed to meet with Lieutenant General Khumalo to discuss the matter.
Indeed.
And the charges he was instructed to bring against him and the team that had raided his property on 6 December 2014. Now you, especially as Minister of Police, former Minister, better informed than the ordinary person, it's at least alleged that he's involved in criminal activity. And you would expect, especially that Khumalo was involved in the raid on his house on the 6th of December. So you should have been more aware than most of us that Matlala is trying to induce you to do something which is not lawful.
Well, SC, maybe that's correct. But my angle is that at the end of the day here, is Khumalo who's going to pay last victim. And that is what I could not agree with. Hence, I got involved, because if Khumalo loses the case that is going to court next week, is getting disciplined. But if the case, that's why Matlala meeting Khumalo is to brief him about what Sibiya has conspired against Khumalo. My angle is not saying don't rate Matlala. My angle is that, if anything, which I did not know that Matlala is being investigated and all that kind of thing. But I've got no angle of Matlala. My angle is this Khumalo who is put on a trap of going to court, understanding that it's taking somebody, and is not him, by the way, SC. It's not Khumalo that is taking Matlala to court. It's Matlala who's taking Khumalo to court for unlawful, which does not come from him, which he has been pushed through. So my angle here is that we can't have Khumalo that will go to court and lose and then get out of the system. That's my angle on this matter. But I don't deny that looking at this under angle would have benefited Matlala on it. But my sole focus here is that nobody should take Khumalo to court, not genuinely so, but to make sure that Khumalo becomes a victim at the end of the day.
Well, it also relates to a huge tender, 360 million rand tender that had been awarded to him. And now he says, look, I don't want this award to be prejudiced or, as it turned out, terminated because of my involvement in this issue involving Khumalo, involving Sibiya, the fight between them. So please help me out. That's the nub of this story here.
Well,
that's why you've been called to this meeting.
Well, two things. Indeed, if this contract is not cancelled, it will benefit, no doubt about it. But that's not my angle. My angle is that Khumalo, I don't know what Kholelo part is, but is not glued to the problem. Khumalo. That my angle here and my gist of here, I want to believe that if there was no Khumalo and him going to court about this matter would have ended there. Even if maybe it was a raid from other people that I do not know, I would not have pursued. The issue here for me, SC, is Khumalo.
But we know you didn't go and speak to Khumalo about it.
I did speak to Khumalo.
When? Afterwards?
Yes, I did.
Because I would have thought you would have said, look, hold it.
No.
Because now you only have one side of the story.
No, I did.
From Matlala.
I did speak to Khumalo.
Yes.
About his going to court, and going to court is this what Matlala says is planned with Sibiya. Hence, Sibiya pushes Matlala to take Khumalo to court. So I did. And Khumalo was going to raise it with his lawyers to see how it go about. Because the issue now was that him being taken to court is not genuine, that he's being taken to court because of illegal, but he's being taken to court so that he becomes a victim and takes out of the system. But I did speak to Khumalo. What I do not know is that if Khumalo did speak to Matlala, I don't know that. But the case was dropped, and I guess lawyers did speak. But whether Khumalo did speak to Matlala, because Khumalo would have known more about the raid and pursuance of Matlala than me. Maybe without telling me, he would not speak to. But I did suggest that what Matlala is briefing me about, he must brief Khumalo. I did say so.
But it's still, even after this meeting or this encounter, and after you had spoken to Khumalo, surely, or let me just pause at that point. After you spoke to Khumalo, after this meeting, did Khumalo not explain to you why the raid happened?
No, he didn't.
Didn't you ask him about it?
No, I didn't ask about the raid, and he didn't tell me about the raid, why they were raiding.
But I thought that was the whole reason why Matlala wanted you to intervene and speak to Khumalo. He's not telling you, and I'm reading from paragraph 69, you said, Mr. Matlala explained that Lieutenant General Sibiya had written an affidavit on his behalf, alleging that during the raid on his home, Mr. Matlala's Rolex watch was stolen by members of the PKTT, seconded to the Gauteng County Intelligence Operations. However, the Rolex was in Mr. Matlala's possession and had not been stolen. So I thought you would tell Khumalo, look, this is what I've been told.
My angle here was that Khumalo was being lured to trouble. To say taking him to court has got nothing to do with illegality of the raid, but is used as a transit towards his being disciplined, because he will have to lose the case in court, and then his seniors, which happens to be, because he reports to this Deputy National Commissioner, who is Sibisi, who is this interior motive of sending Matlala. But Matlala says, now I realize that I'm being used. So please tell Khumalo that it's not me, it's Sibiya. So the case that is taken by Matlala, he wants to drop it so that Khumalo is not taken to this grinding machine by Sibiya through Matlala. I'm saying the angle of me talking and entertaining this matter is that angle of Khumalo telling him that is not Matlala, but there is somebody behind Matlala.
Thanks, Honourable Chair. General Cele, did I understand you to say that you read this News 24 article about Matlala before the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Now that article is at page 71. It's BC 8.
Page
70.
81.
Yeah, BC 8, 71 and 72. Yeah.
Yes, I'm there.
So before you met with Matlala, you would have had some idea of who this is.
Yes, after reading this article.
And this article is what one can describe as quite unflattering.
Quite
Unflattering.
unthreatening.
Yeah. We're not going to, we've had a lot of the dictionary in this hearing so far. It's an article which is not kind to Mr. Matlala.
Oh, yes.
It portrays him as someone who is involved in murky dealings. Of course, I don't rely on this article for what's contained in it. But if I had to read this article before meeting someone, and I do meet him, even if I didn't know I was going to meet him, I'd probably jump up immediately and leave. I mean, this is just randomly look at the. It's about the Tembisa Hospital fraud investigation. He's now entangled in a case involving the kidnapping of a woman and a child. Then it talks about following a raid on his home. Then in court papers, so he's involved there. There's the 360 million. Then it talks about Kobile, Tikhale, and a 9-year-old son were abducted. And then it ends with with a reference to the late Babita Deokaran, the late but famous whistleblower. But 3 weeks after that, she was killed. So the whole thrust of the article, quite frankly, portrays him as a dark character.
I agree.
You met with him?
Maybe, SC, we don't come from the same world of understanding matters. I said to you, the call comes from prison. It tells me that in a certain lodge at Ulundi, there are people who are sitting there with the AKs, and they are ready to kill this ex-Inkosi. And I say, I speak to provincial commissioner. He goes there and says, he finds the information as is. I could have said to a person who's calling from prison, don't phone me. Don't call me. And Inkosi dies. Okay. If there are few criminals, that you would know, they are top. If that criminal phones you, he phones me, and I know him, to say, SCRNs will be assassinated, and I say, look, you are a criminal. Don't phone me, don't talk to me about any other things, and you are assassinated. And I come to tell the story that, by the way, this criminal phoned me, and I did not do anything. I agree. There are meetings that you would do. Let me tell you one story of a person that I met who is a king of Zamazamas. Actually, there are two Zamazamas. One, I forget his surname, is a Soto guy because this guy, Zamazamas are mostly also run from Lesotho. I met him. Later, that guy is arrested. But he was to meet me to give me information. Okay? The second thing that could not be made direct, there is a guy called LL. I don't know if you know a guy called LL, SC. His name is Louis Leuwenberg. He's a king of Zamazamas. He cleans diamonds and everything. He's millions and millions. He funds MKP. He maybe finds Baba and through him MKP because he paid 500,000. He paid 500,000 for the case for the private case to be taken to court. I think taking case privately, you pay. He paid that money. And he has been arrested. He's in prison as I speak for running diamond. He has appeared in court, and MK has been in court supporting him every day when he goes to court. Now, I don't know whether they don't know that, but the crux of the matter is that you can meet somebody and get later how deep that person is. But if you work in security, SC, you can't say, I can't meet you, because that kind of information from that person could be the lifesaver of many other things. So understand where I come from. By the way, I do meet criminals. I do. And the information can be broader used than not having met him. Others, there are those that are obvious, like the Cape Town one. Really, I can't meet Medoc. I can't meet Nasif. I can't meet those guys. But those, because you know how far have they gone, it might not help you. You can even, those guys say, meet so and so and send the officer to that person. But some of these guys will refuse to say, I am not going to give this information because if I give this information to somebody different, it might come back to bite me. But this is a world that we live in from the work that we are doing or we were doing, SC.
So, if because of time, General, if I can just move on. So, you met Matlala again several times after that.
Yes.
Why?
This question of politics, Matlala, me, and Mkhwanazi has come on play, because Matlala begins to feed me things that either Mkhwanazi or Mkhwanazi, they are fitting to him. Basically, some of them, they are targeted to Khumalo. I must come up front. I've worked with Khumalo. I've seen his work. I think I don't know his dark side, but he's one, if he does have one, but he's one corp that I will protect. Khumalo is one corp that I'll protect. So, and it's like Mkhwanazi himself. For me, he remains a good cop. People, they've asked that he has spoken things about you. I said, separate a good cop to the human being, because that is a good cop. It doesn't mean he's a perfect human being. We can come back to that. But there are those people that I will protect, knowing very well how much are they contributing towards the proper working of the organization called the police, but also knowing very well that if they get hurt, it might hurt the organization. So if I have any way of protecting and helping on that, I will do. And Khumalo is one of those people.